The ongoing pandemic has caused many of us to rethink our priorities and reevaluate what's important to us. When it first began, hundreds of thousands of people across the country lost their jobs and were left wondering what were they going to do next. Ms. Bloom was one of those people. After being laid off from her job, Ms. Bloom knew that she didn't want to be dependent on anyone but herself to provide for her family. So she founded Bloom's Logistics and Bloom's Transportation last March, and within a year has seen it grow into a six-figure business. Joining me to discuss her journey into entrepreneurship is Ms. Bloom. Thank you so much for coming on Amplified. Now, you were in a position that hey, it's good to see you. I love your purple. You were in a position that a lot of people found themselves in over the last year. You were laid off. You didn't know where your next check was going to come from. You knew you had to do something, though. So tell us about how you found your way into not just entrepreneurship, but the trucking business specifically.
Well, to be honest, I was like all over the place. I've been in the hospital my entire life for my career. And when they laid me off, I was like, okay, now what am I going to do? And I always wanted to get into the trucking industry, but because I worked in corporate America, I never really took it serious. So I felt COVID kind of pushed me to starting my company. And I just went straight forward. I started my dispatching company. And then a few months later, I ended up running my business.
Wow. You know, it is not, when I think about the trucking industry, it is predominantly male, it's predominantly white. I also think about it as being a tough industry. I mean, just like hardcore, driving these big rigs and being up all night and hitting the road. It also being maybe a little bit lonely, right? And so I just wonder, as a Black woman, how you're navigating this industry where certainly, you know, you are probably one of a few, if not the only one.
Well, to be honest with you, the reason that I love the transportation industry so much, you can own a truck without actually having to drive the truck. So I own my truck, but I don't drive it. I hire drivers who drive for me, and I pay the drivers to bring home the money for me. So that's the beauty of actually owning a truck without having an actual CDLs. In my dispatching company, we dispatch truck drivers who have their own trucking business, and I also have a freight broker as well. So I'm tied into the transportation industry in 3 different ways.
Now, did you know much about transportation and logistics before? Because all that you're describing sounds like a very sophisticated, at least for somebody like me who doesn't know how to do this, sounds like a very sophisticated model of how you're contracting others, how you're, you know, managing through your brokerage as well as just kind of being a part of the entire industry. So I'm curious for people who are watching you and thinking, I want to shake it up and I want to try something new too, from just a business development standpoint, what did that look like for you, jumping in business modeling and just kind of figuring out how to put all the pieces together?
Well, I'm very big on YouTube and Google. So I started to, you know, network with other individuals who were in the trucking industry. I had some very good friends of mine from Good Energy, Alex, Rob from Good Energy. They were already in the transportation industry, and they kind of, you know, made sure that I didn't make mistakes that a lot of entrepreneurs make. Anything that I did, I would always ask someone. I would Google it. I would get on YouTube. Every day I'm constantly trying to see how can I grow my business? How can I show other African young women and young men be entrepreneurs out here in the world? They don't have to, you know, be Instagram models, or they have to go out something crazy to make an actual great income.
There's always people out there who can teach you the ropes. I always tell people that no idea is necessarily new and that there's always information out there for the taking if you go out and find it. One question I have for you, I got to say, what struck me when I first started to read about you and your company was the color purple. Obviously, your purple hair, but your purple rigs and all the things. And so I'm just so interested. Tell me about the significance of purple for you in your life and your business.
So purple is my favorite color because it means royalty. And I'm a woman of color, so when they see my purple trucks out on the road, it's a branding marketing skill. Hey, that's Miss Bloom truck. We know that purple truck anywhere. So everything with me is branding, branding, branding. I'm the girl with the purple hair, the purple nails, whatever it is. If it's associated with purple, 9 times out of 10, it's Bloom's Logistics, Bloom's Transportation.
I tell you, black women are starting businesses in this country at a higher rate, a higher clip than anybody else. And so I'm so excited to be able to amplify, Ms. Bloom, your company and your transportation business. Thank you so much for joining us here on Amplify tonight, and we will keep following you and all that you're up to.